Hello and welcome everybody. I had an incident with my dog that I want to share with you, and just pray that you would get some insight if you're having troubles and struggles with your dog's health, which I was, this last week, that's what happened. So long story short, she could not urinate. I took her to the vet, and the vet said she had stones in her bladder and she needed to have emergency surgery. I said, okay, well, how much is the surgery? Well, the vet said, here's the sheet with the breakdown. It was $1,800. I said, no, I'm not going to spend $1,800 to have the dog have surgery. So the vet said, okay, well, there is another place that you can go to that's a little bit cheaper. So he told me where that place was, told me to call them to go there and see if they would help me. Well, I ended up spending $350 at the first vet that told me that I needed the surgery for $1,800. And I asked the vet, I said, okay, is there anything that you can do for me? I mean, there's nothing that you can do. He was like, no. I said, there's nothing. Nothing. I'm spending $350 and there's nothing that you can do for the dog at all. And he said, I can give her antibiotic. I said, go ahead, give her antibiotic then. Help her, do something. She's in pain. Give her some pain medicine. I mean, do something. So he did. And then I went to the other vet, and the other vet checked me in and everything. And Denia started urinating. Of course, she had a bad UTI, so there was blood in her urine, but she was urinating. That was a good sign. She even urinated on me when she was sitting on my lap at the vet. So the vet takes her back. He looks at the records from the other vet, and he says, comes back and says, we're not going to do surgery because she's urinating. That's a good sign. I'm going to give you some medicines. And they gave me this food that they give for dogs that have UTI, chronic UTIs. And you can see Denia in the back. She's kind of just looking around. But anyway, and so he gave me this food that they put you on. The vets do, is a prescription food. And then he gave her some drugs to keep her, calm and to make her comfortable. So I bring her home and I'm like, oh, this has just been a crazy day all day. The dog was going to die in 48 hours is what the vet pretty much told me. And if she didn't have the surgery, well, I wasn't going to spend that kind of money. It was still over $1,000 at the other place. And I said, no, there's got to be another way. So I came home. I prayed all this time. I've been praying. I was calling my prayer partners. I was calling the prayer lines. I was taking it to the Lord in prayer, knowing that, life and death is in God's hands. And so if it's God's will for Denia to still be alive, then it will. And if it's not, then I was going to have to bear that burden and just deal with it and go through that. But obviously I didn't, because you can see her in the background. She's looking around, and I wanted everybody to be able to see her so it wouldn't be like, oh, this is like a made up story. No, this is true. This happened to me last week. So it's been a week and 2 days that she's still surviving, and that she's not, I did not have to put her down. So I start making phone calls. I called people, called my herbalist and asked my herbalist what to do. My herbalist said, hey, go to the health food store. And when you go to the health food store, ask them for something that will help the kidneys, that will help break down the stones. And then try to get her on a good diet, add a few things in there, and watch the miracle happen. And he was telling me, which I already knew this, but I just needed some help. I was like, the doctor said, he said, stop. Janine, stop. Those doctors are not going to really help you unless you want to pay $1,800 or $1,000. If not, your dog is going to die. So you're it. You're it. You have to take control. You have to help her. The power's in you to help her. You have the wisdom. Help her. Help your doggy to live. So I had to take that information that he told me, and I said, you know what? He's right. I cannot depend on these vets, because I called so many vets, and they were like, well, you got to bring her in, and we're going to do this and do that. And I said, that's more money. Yes, it's more money, because the doctor has to look at her, and the doctor has to do an exam and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what if I don't do that? Well, they're like, well, there's nothing that we can do. I said, so the dog is going to die. It was like, pretty much. And I called one vet that's supposed to be like a kind of a vet that helps people with when they come into something that's really a financial burden for them, and they help you with that. And they were like, well, we'll do the surgery. You have to have half of it down, and then afterwards you have to pay the rest of it. And if you don't pay the rest of it, or you don't pick the dog up, then that's called neglect and abuse. And then we keep the dog. And I was like, you keep the dog? Yeah, we keep the dog. So they actually keep your dog, don't give the dog back. And then they said, and then we file the credit report. We file that against your credit, because that's a debt. I said, oh my goodness. I mean, I was just praying. I was like, Lord, this is horrible. But I already knew that. That's why I do a lot of natural things. and I wanted, I've been doing natural things with her, not understanding that the UTIs that keep reoccurring and I'm treating them at home, it's got a lot to do with the food. I got to change the diet. The diet has to change, and I hadn't really done that. I did it. I kind of changed her diet, add some pumpkin, but that's just not enough because at first she was eating a high alkaline diet, and then I, kind of changed it myself to give her some protein. Come on back here, Naya. Come on, give her back some protein. Sorry, you guys, but I'm letting her just have her fun right now. I'm so glad that she's alive and she made it and she's playing and she's walking and everything. But anyway, so I kind of made my own little thing up and added some protein to it, but it probably was too much protein because I added some raw food with some dry food. I've been giving her dry food for a long time, so it's just a whole lot. But the bulk of the story is that I got to run around with the vets, and they wanted to charge me all of this money and have me take her to have her get surgery. It was a week and 2 days. She has not had the surgery. She is eating now. She is drinking now. And I want to say this too. I would have, when she went through this and could not urinate, she wasn't eating or drinking. And that's why I wasn't able to get any herbs in her body, because if I would have been able to do that, then she would have been a little better off than she was, and we probably would have went to the vet, but it wouldn't have been so costly at that time. But I was not able to get any herbs in her because she would not eat or drink. So now I understand. I know next time to have one of those syringes. So I have a syringe, so then if that happens, you can put a cone on their head, and then you can take whatever medicine and put it in their mouth with that cone, and they won't bite you, because she was in pain and I didn't want to keep messing with her because, she probably would kind of snap at me. I didn't want to go through that. So anyway, that's one of the reasons. Hold on. Come on, Nia. Get out of there. That's one of the reasons why why I wasn't able to give her herbs to kind of help her out a little bit, and wasn't understanding that she was going to be in bad shape if she didn't urinate. I know that because the process of the kidneys, and if you don't urinate and all of that. So anyway, some things that I've been doing. Wanted to kind of share that with you. Denia is alive and she's moving strong. So I went and I got a herb called Chanca Piedra, and it means stone breaker. So I've been using that every day since then to break up the stones in her urine. And then she's on Uva Ursi. Water out is a good one to help push the water out. Now, again, when you do these herbs, you got to make sure. I'm going to do a disclaimer. I'm not a holistic person, a holistic doctor, anything like that. This is stuff I'm doing at home to treat my animal and things that I've done. But anyway, when you do these herbs, they're diuretics, so you got to make sure they're drinking enough water. So I looked up to see how much water she needs, and she's about 20 pounds. She needs about 20 ounces of water. So I filled up, and I'm using distilled water only. And I filled up the 20-ounce bottle of water, and I'm making sure she drinks that every day. Now, how am I doing that? I'm adding it to her food, so it's real soupy. Her food is like soup now, because otherwise she won't get the water, and then she'll be back in the same situation, because you got to flush the kidneys out. You really need to flush the kidneys in order to get them functioning. So now I can see I've been doing the urine strip and the test, and at home I'm going to take her to the vet next week though, and have them do a urinalysis and everything to see where she is. But her urine is clearing up. The blood is not in her urine anymore. It's looking a lot better. Sorry, it's looking really a lot better. I know that it's going to be a process. This is not over. The main thing I'm working on right now is dissolving the stones with different herbs, and then also I am looking at changing her food. So I'm in the research of doing that, and there's a lot of things out there, but I got to make sure I get the right thing and the right food that's going to be low in protein and low in some other things that will keep her healthy and everything. Something else I've been doing, I've been giving her like a little massage every day, and I'm going to just tilt this so you can see what I've been doing. Come here, Naya. So I've been giving her a little massage right here. I just hold my hand and I just massage where her bladder is and everything. And then because I do all the contrast showers and all of that, I figured, that water, especially when you do the cold water, it makes you go to the bathroom. So I put some cold water in a gallon jug, And then I just pour I pour the water under my hand. See that? And I massage that, and I even pour a little bit of water back here, and it activates them to urine with that cold water, because I figured that would be something I could do, that I do for myself, so I could do it for her. So those are some little tips to get the water to use a little bit of cold water on them, to kind of and massage their bladder, to make them to want to urinate, and they start pushing out those toxins. And so now my next step is I got to get a different food for her. I really don't like the food. I'm going to stand up. Hold on. So give me a minute. I got to adjust the camera. Yeah, so I really don't like the Hills prescription. I really don't like the ingredients in that. I'm using it for now, but I'm going to change the food and then get her on some different herbs that maintain. I know I have her doing the cranberry treat with the Damanos and everything, but I've been praying, you guys, and praying. I know it's not over. It is a journey. I'm going to have to work with her, and I'm going to have to make sure that I stay on top of it for her kidney health, because she gets chronic UTIs, and I've been handling it pretty well, but this time it got a little bit out of hand because she wasn't able to urinate pretty much at all, but she did. She was really blocked up, and so I'm just in prayer and asking the Lord to give me wisdom and insight, and wanted to share this with you guys, because you may know someone that's going through this. You may know someone that has a dog that's going through this, and they need help, and I'm just sharing what I've been doing, and I pray that it helps you. But I have been praying. I'm sorry, my head is probably cut off in this video. It's a lot with the dog, but you guys, just wanted to share it with you. And I've been praying, and God is good. God is faithful. He allowed Naya to still be here. She's going for long walks. She's eating, she's drinking, she's playing, and she's just enjoying her little life. And I'm trying to help her do that. And I want her to thrive in health and not survive. But I got to do a lot of research, because I'm not a veterinarian. But the veterinarians, just like the regular doctors, don't really have any expertise in nutrition, because they don't even really hardly study nutrition. So I have to be the one to take charge of studying for her and trying to figure out what I can do to help her to live I'm stepping on her, to live a better life and a healthier life, until God says, okay, it's time to put her to sleep. But this is little Denia, and say hi, Denia. Say, I'm still alive. Yeah, they wrote me off. Say they wrote me off, but I'm not wrote off. So anyway, God bless you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot going on in this video, but I needed to share and let you know that whatever you're going through, may not be with a dog, it may be with a loved one or something. Just pray through it, because that's what has gotten me through, is prayer. Prayer not only changes things, it changes everything. So I've been praying about all things. God bless.